welcome to another episode of the Achievers Part. And this is the podcast where we celebrate, where we empower and inspire professional ladies out there to achieve success beyond limit. And every week we bring in guests, we bring in women from diverse background and profession to come here to share their stories and also to inspire us for another level of success. My name is Victoria Showumi, aka First Lady V, and I am your host. And as always, I am excited. I am loving the energy, the vibe in the studio today because I have another awesome, phenomenal powerhouse woman. Oh my God. Wait till she gets here. The energy is half the roof. And this is a good friend of mine. I just love her vibe. And she's going to be sharing a lot with us today. And this is the person of Dr. Farah Laurent. She is a registered nurse. She is a personal branding and career strategist for new nurses. You guys know I'm a registered nurse, right? She is a consultant. She is a keynote speaker and entrepreneur. She is so passionate about healthy work environment, increasing diversity in nursing and advocating for nurses to be bold and to be able to excite in their nursing careers and business opportunities. All right. So she's appointed to serve on the National Board of Directors for Next Generation of Women Business Owners Committee for the 2024 and 2025. Also, she's the LinkedIn Top Nursing Voice. Okay. She is the host of Nursing Dose with Farah podcast and author. She's an author, okay? Author of Nurses Making Money Moves, a nurse's guide to starting our business. And also, she is the host of the inaugural Nurses Making Money Moves conference. This one is happening very soon. So, I can't wait, for you to hear from her. So, and today we are going to be talking about how she started. We're going to be talking about personal branding. We're going to be talking about how to start in business as a business consultant, as a coach. So, guys, join me in as I welcome a good friend of mine with all the energy, Dr. Farah Laurent.
Yes. Oh my goodness. I am so honored and so excited to be on here. Thank you so much for taking the time to meet with me and to give me this opportunity to share a little bit about me, my experience, and everything that I'm doing. So thank you so much, Victoria. You're the best.
Oh,
Amazing.
thank you. Thank you. I am excited myself. So I wanted to share to our audience, tell us a little bit about yourself. I know I say some, but tell us what we don't know yet. And also let us start from how you got started.
Okay, awesome. Thank you so much. Yeah, so I always like to start off by saying that I am a very, very proud first generation immigrant. Immigrated from West Africa, Ivory Coast, to Canada when I was 9 years old. So I didn't speak English. So that was a journey and a culture kind of adjustment going to Canada. So I grew up in Canada and decided I wanted to go to nursing school. And of course, right, as most immigrant parents, so my dad was like, "Are you sure you don't want to be a doctor?" Right? Like the doctor, lawyer, engineer option, right?
I know, right? Our parents, oh my goodness.
Yeah. So I said, no, I want to be a nurse. I knew I wanted to be a nurse. And as a child, I was always playing with my dolls and wasting all the band-aids in the house, right? So I decided to do nursing. So I went to nursing school. It was a great experience, but of course, I did not have the most diverse faculty, as we know. We need a little more help, I think, globally increasing diversity in nursing, particularly in education and leadership. So I had some struggles there. In my last semester, I had a clinical instructor who asked me, "Hey, Farah, what type of nurse do you want to be?" And I said, "Well, I want to be an emergency nurse." I loved watching Trauma Life in the ER. And I'm like, that's the type of nurse I want to be. And she looked at me and said, "Farah, you'll never be an emergency nurse. You're too unorganized." And she literally laughed in my face. And I said, wow, for a moment, as a student, I felt so crushed. And then I was like, you
Mm.
know what? Who's this lady telling me what I
Telling me what
can
I
and
cannot
can't
be.
do?
Oh my
Right. And I
God.
said, no, 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 no. I said, in my head, I was like, watch me, lady. I will be an emergency nurse. And not only will I be an emergency nurse, I'm going to be one of the most badass emergency nurses around. So that's what I did. I got hired as a nursing student before I even took my licensing boards in Canada. And back then, it was very rare for new
Mm.
nurses to start in the emergency room. So not only did I get one offer, I got two offer. Double blessings, right? Two
Uh-huh.
offers. And then I picked the trauma one. I picked the trauma hospital. And the way that I got in was only me and another girl got to go in our last rotation. We picked the ER. Out of 110 students, only two of us got to go. So,
Wow.
I was blessed to do that. And I made great connections. And that's how I started in the emergency room. And I think that was probably the best decision that I ever made
Mm.
to start there. So, this is why you know, along my journey, I've always loved nursing students. I always loved supporting new graduate nurses. And I promised myself that I would later go into education
Mm.
and become that clinical instructor that would be supportive,
Of the nursing
inspiring,
students.
uplifting nursing students, and then making education fun. If anybody knows me, I'm all about laughing, having fun.
Mm-hmm.
You can still learn and have fun. So I later then became an adjunct faculty for NYU School of Nursing and also an educator at NYU in a clinical setting space. But of course, that came with some adversities, face some, discrimination, whatever else you want to call it. But it took me 2 years and I was persistent and I got to that goal and then made my way up the leadership, up to, some education director roles, up to associate dean, and then started my business as a nurse career coach.
Wow, wow, that is fantastic. And I like the way you said it because I went to nursing school, and one thing with nursing school, even before you start, we always have this mind that this is we know it's difficult, but at the same time, they scare the hell out of us. Like you better be on your toe. I mean, we are studying, and oh my goodness, and for be in a space where you can really make it fun for students to be able to
Yes.
assimilate all these things that we are learning, the pharmacology, the med
Mhm.
surgical part of it. I mean, like it's so
Overwhelming, right?
it's a
Yeah.
lot.
And I've taken, you know, I'm a big advocate, like you talked about creating healthy work environments, both clinically and also creating healthy learning
Learning.
environments that promote psychological safety where students can actually learn, nurses can learn. Because if you're scared, right, you're not going to want to ask questions and all that. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm a big advocate for that. And then making education relevant, right? Let's talk about what's really going on in the nursing world and how they can take their skills and be successful when they transition to practice. So that's what I do now as a nurse career coach is I help nurses get into specialty areas or, pivot if they're maybe not happy where they're at and get into other roles such as education or leadership. Yeah.
Okay, awesome. Well, let's talk about that
Yeah.
because there is
Yeah.
actually something that motivated you to start that part and being a career coach for nurses, helping nurses to navigate their career and to step up and also to start up as an entrepreneur. So, what is the inspiration behind that?
Yeah. So, as nurses, if other nurses are listening, right? Nurses
Of
always
course.
love to do the most, right? We always we always want to just keep doing more and more and more, right? So part of the thing that I wanted to do was continue on my education to get my doctorate because for me, I wanted to be fulfilled. I got my master's in education and I got my DNP in organizational leadership. That was important for me personally, and I wanted to set an example for my kids that you can further your education regardless of what's going on. So I went back to school when my daughter was literally just a few months old. I was still working full time, and my son, I think, was about 4 at the time. And I started my business at the same time. I'm like, you know what? There's no better time like that. Let's just start the business, right? And I started doing the nurse career coach. Ask me, did I know what I was doing? No. But was I determined to just continue to learn, watch YouTube videos, read books?
Hmm.
Literally, that's what I was doing. And then investing in myself. As a coach, I invested in a business coach, in other coaching so that I could really save time and be able to kind of establish myself in business and learn some business basics. So that's kind of what I did. And really, the motivation behind that are my kids,
Hmm.
right? Like, what better motivation do you have? Um, you know, growing up in Canada and also being a first gen immigrant, actually, we had a great life in Africa, right? We had a great life where we lived in Ivory Coast, but my dad just wanted more opportunities for us. But when we came as immigrants to Canada, I saw my dad struggling, right? As a new immigrant, as most people, go to new
Mm-hmm.
countries, it was not easy for him. So I didn't want to be a burden to them. So early on, I knew the essence of like work ethic, working hard to get to where you want to be, and you know, knowing certain things, I knew I had to work a little harder, right? Being a woman, being, a diverse woman,
Mm-hmm.
to get to certain positions. And this is what's been my driving force and my motivation, and to help others along the way to also see that it is possible, right? That you can do so many things. Um, and I'm just, more about being positive, and having that abundance mindset that really anything can happen, if you really believe. And then obviously also, centered in faith,
Mm-hmm.
because I really believe in God, and, what's meant for you will happen. And, always wanting to give back to others as well.
To others. I mean, and that is phenomenal because sometimes we have a lot of people based. Got me. I'm African American, and I'm a woman, and sometimes, like you said, we have to work extra to get what we want. But at the same time, it's comforting to know that when we are able to do it, we are able to inspire other people that they too can do
Yeah.
the same. They can dream big and they can become whatever they set their minds to do. Awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you for what you are doing. And so
Thank you.
let's talk a little bit about your book because that is another one that you wrote. Nurses Making Money Moves. Yes, a nurse's guide to starting a business. Talk a little bit
Yes.
about it. And if anybody is to get hold of this book, what is it to expect from the book?
Yeah, so you can get the book at nursefarah.com, my website under the book section. So really it covers all the things: entrepreneurial mindset, how to build your business concept, how to write a business plan, actionable marketing strategies, how to attract clients on social media, that they just want to give you their money so that you're not chasing, right? How to build wealth, how to price your services, whether you're doing a service-based business or you have a product, and then how to really stand out in the media. And then it's an actual workbook that you can write your ideas and work through it, so that really at the end of this book you should be able to take your idea and establish and have a registered business. That's really um, the whole goal of the book. And I didn't want it to be a huge book because people don't have time
Mm-hmm.
to read through massive things, and people just want to take action, and they're like, just
Yes.
give me the summary. What do I need to
Mm-hmm. What I need
do?
to do? Yeah.
And let's get it done. So that's kind of what I wanted to do. So many nurses were coming up to me and they're like, "How did you become a nurse career coach? Like, do you have to get a certain certification?" I'm like, "No, you don't need a certification. How did you do this? How did you do that?" I'm like, literally Googled it, read it, talked to other people, networked, went to conferences, things like that. And that's why you need to come to the Nurses Making Money Moves conference. Yeah, it's just trial and error. People think entrepreneurship is this huge thing.
Mm.
Um, it's really believing in an idea, wanting to solve a problem. Typically, people that go into entrepreneurship are just creative people that want to solve an issue for someone.
Mm-hmm.
And the people that can solve that issue for people, um, you're always going to be able to create your own wealth because you're so resourceful. So, working in the emergency department or even just simply being a nurse, we have all the transferable skills to have a business. I'm not saying every single nurse should
No.
have a business.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, but I truly believe they should, because you need something to have more income stream,
Coming
you know?
in.
And I don't talk about this often, but I have shared it. Even though I have a doctorate degree and I've obtained 6 board certifications, I've got laid off 3 times in the last 5 years in
Okay,
leadership positions. Yep.
wait right there. So nurses or anybody out there, so listen to what she's saying. And actually, I've been there before because I know sometimes we look at nurses. I mean, you look at, oh, you can never lose your job. Let me tell you that it has happened to me twice. Actually, yeah, it has happened to me twice. It has happened
Hmm.
to me twice. The first time was the one that really it caught me unaware because I was actually on maternity leave. Okay, back in New York, I was on maternity leave. I just had my baby, and my director has left me a message. I was like, I haven't tell anybody that I have my baby. Why did you leave me a message? And when I was discharged and go back home, I called. I'm like, oh, you left me a message. And she was like, I'm sorry to break the news to you. And I was like even I was trying to wrap my head around it, like, why on a maternity leave? You can say by the time you're done with your leave, there's no work for you. I'm like, what? So
Hmm.
yes, it does happen. So thank you for sharing that because we're gonna talk about other options out there, things that nurses can do. So sorry to cut you in.
Oh, no, no. Thank you for sharing because I don't think we talk about that enough, you know? Um, and I shared the post this today actually, um, because people think that they have job security always, and it's not just in nursing. Like if you think in today's day and age that your job is secure, like you're fooling yourself. It's not. And
Mm.
especially you go into a different mode when you have kids,
Oh gosh.
right?
Yes.
Like you are you are the protector and the provider of your kids. And people, they don't care. Like in the US. I mean, Canada is a little bit different. You still lose your job there too, but it's a business. Like it's a business and they don't really care about you. I mean, I'm just real. Okay. It's a business. If they have to get rid of you, they're going to get rid of you because it's the business. So this is what I wrote today. So why not you be a business? Right? If they're a business, you could be a business
Be a
too
business too.
and generate your own income because you're always going to have some type of something. And it doesn't have to be big. You don't have to go, start your own agency or do whatever. I know a nurse who started a day planner. She was a graphic designer, started day planners, selling
Mm.
day planners. She is now a millionaire today. So this is what the possibility is. Um, you have to open up your mind, and it's not just in business. Let's just say in your career.
Mm.
Um, if you're not happy where you are, you want to do something new and exciting, just take the leap. Just do it because it's all about your mind and like what you believe. If you really believe you can do it, it's possible.
Mm.
So stop staying stuck. Like, what's your 2025 story going to be? You want to just keep doing the same thing, or you want to do
Mm.
something exciting, something new? Um, in advance. It takes risks, but if you don't take risks, you're not going to have big outcomes.
That is true. That is true. If you don't take a risk, you're going to remain where you are. So I want you to kind of share some of the things you help other nurses do because you are a career coach. You help people to start their business, to make moves. So what are some of the things that you've helped your clients do? And if somebody were to work with you, what are some of the things to expect? What is the transformation?
Yes, yes, great question. So when I first started this, I thought that nurse career coaching was going to be a lot of like technical type things. I thought, oh, I'm just gonna help them with their resume and their cover letter and that type of stuff. Well, I didn't know that actually I was literally creating transformation in terms of their mindset, their confidence, and how they view opportunities and their career and life generally, right? So a lot of new nurses are told you can't, or you have to start in med surg, or whatever other mess they tell them. So
Mm.
even experienced nurses have mental blocks or have self-limiting beliefs that
Beliefs.
stop them from applying to certain positions or from rising up.
Mm.
And most of the time, we are the ones stopping ourselves. It's not really, yes, sometimes there's other, factors, but a
Factors
lot of
in
times we are not taking the next steps to get to where we want to be because we're holding ourselves back for fear and all these other reasons. But you're going to fail. You're going to fail in life, so who cares? So this is what I tell these new nurses. Like, if you're going to go for it, you're going to go all in.
all
And
in. Oh, I like
you need
that.
to be bold and don't go to the interview pretending you're not who you are. Like, people are so stiff and afraid to be who they are and afraid to
Mm.
have a conversation. I'm like, these people are just humans like you. You're
Absolutely.
human. You're having a conversation. If they don't want to hire you, you go somewhere else. That's it. And what is meant for you, like I said, I believe in God. Nobody can take away. If you are meant for that position, it's going to just literally fall in your lap and it's going to be easy. But go for it. You know what I mean? And be different and
Mm.
stand out. Because I really believe soon we're going to move away from resumes and it's going to be like video interviewing. And
Mm-hmm.
because guess what? You can have a 4.0, the knowledge like this, but if you cannot interact with humans, if you can't make those connections, if you
Connection.
can't communicate your worth and articulate your value, it doesn't matter if you're in nursing and you're in business or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
you're not going anywhere, right?
Right.
So
Yes.
that's really what it is, and working on that personal branding, which is another big topic I like to talk about. Yeah.
Okay, now that you mentioned that personal branding, so why not just dive into it? We don't have the whole day, so for everybody that is listening and watching, so all right, let's talk about personal branding. Whether you are a nurse or you are not a nurse, please spill the beans, man. Be ready.
So really, like, I'll tell you a quick story. I was in the ER sitting, and I had just done my evaluation, and I wasn't happy with my performance eval because I felt like they were just kind of telling me about my personality and not the actual work performance, right?
Mm.
So, the manager, she was a new manager. She just came out. She's like, Fair, I think you really need to work on your brand. And I'm like, what is this lady telling me about a brand? And I'm like, I'm trying to work and save lives here. So
I know,
I
right?
didn't really think much of it
Hmm.
until I started my business and started researching personal branding. And essentially, I think personal branding really kept me from moving up um, in higher levels. And if
Hmm.
I would have known more about personal branding and how to manage my brand, I think I would have gotten a lot further.
But
But we all learn.
yeah.
So essentially, what a personal brand is really what people, it's like your reputation, but at a bigger scale. Like, what do people think about you? How do they perceive you? Because
You.
it's all about perception. It's not what you think.
Mm-hmm.
How do people perceive you and how do they feel about you? Or when you're around, how do you make them feel? So it's a lot about that. And then really, what do they associate you with? So a lot of times it's what you stand for, your
Mm.
values, your purpose. So you really have to manage all that. And nurses don't understand whether you're managing it or not, you have a brand and you are the brand.
Hmm. You have a brand and you are the brand. Okay.
Yep. Yep. And I'm working on a book on that. personal branding book for nurses.
For nurses, wow. Yeah,
Yes.
and I like the way you frame it because sometimes we think about how we see ourselves, but it's not about that. It's about how other people perceive you and what they depict about you. I mean, that is really going to see how they view you and see how they open doors for you and all of that.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
And that's why I need to work on like even just my personal image a lot more.
Hmm.
And this is what when I work with my clients, when they go to interviews, they already know. I tell them from day one, what they the selections of what they need to wear when they go to the interview because they laugh at me because I'm like, when you go to the interview, I said if it's a lot of people, I said watch. The majority you're going to see a sea of black or a sea of gray. And you're not going to see anybody in color. But I said, guess what? If you wear a nice cobalt blue suit, which is still professional, or a plum purple something, you show up to that interview, guess what? You will just naturally stand out. And before you even open your mouth, the way you dress when you walk into that, you're going to command that attention
That's
and you're going to exude with more confidence the way you present yourself, right? So that's why it's so important to invest in your image, which is like
image.
your packaging, right? Like when you go to the grocery store, right? You're
Yes.
looking at packaging. And
Mm.
it's the same thing when we're looking at professionals and nurses. So that's what we work on as well. The personal branding piece with the nurses getting jobs. And even in business, right? The same thing. So that's why I actually have a speaker at the Nurses Making Money Moves who's going to be talking about personal style and how your style story can really help you with more opportunities and get more money.
Wow. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for sharing that. We're going to talk a little bit about the conference. But before we go there, I want to just talk what are some business ideas that nurses can do? I know you talk about somebody that started doing a day planner, but
Yeah,
just throw some point out one or two so people can wake up the
yeah.
curiosity of people that are listening right now.
Okay. Sure. There's two things. I like to break it down in two ways. You can have a service-based business
Mm-hmm.
or a product. So
Mm.
when we say product, it's like you're going to be selling something, whether it's a mug or a day planner or a book, right? A product.
Mm-hmm.
Service-based business is the easiest thing to do because you don't have to really buy anything and it's your intellectual property that you're sharing. So the two easiest things that you could do is be a consultant or be some type of coach, right? A lot of people are doing health coaching, career coaching, like I'm
Coaching.
doing, or you can be a consultant for an organization or, different things like that. So that's what I would say. And then the second part to it is you have to realize just because you are a nurse doesn't mean you have to create a nurse type business or a healthcare related business. You can do
Oh,
a
I like
business
that.
that has nothing to do with healthcare,
Okay.
right? We're creative beings. We can do so many things. I just did a post about this. You could be, if you are like creative and artistic, you could be an event planner. You can be a photographer. You could do design websites. You could do video editing. You could do birthday parties or whatever. There's so many things. You could do people's taxes. I don't know, maybe you like to do taxes. I'm not sure. Especially if you're a second career nurse, you might have
Mm-hmm.
other talents. You could be a tutor. You could tutor nursing students. The list is endless.
The list is
You
endless.
could do art and sell your arts. Like, I don't know. There's so
Mhm.
many things. You could do an ebook. You could start a podcast. I could go on all day.
Oh my God. Oh gosh, the
You could
list
do
is
a
endless.
scrub company. Like, I don't know, whatever it is you want to do, right? There's so many things. There's a nurse actually that's going to be at the conference. She started her own suit line. Renee Turner. Yeah, she has her own suit line. So,
Oh
yeah.
my God. Oh my God. Thank you so much. So let's now talk about the I said career conference.
The Nurses Making Money Moves conference. Yes. I know it's a mouthful. I know.
Yes, I know, right? So let us talk about it. Like, who is gonna benefit from it? and what would they take away from this? So, guys, and before she speaks, this is a 2025, guys. If you are somebody who has been looking like I need to make some side, else make some money on the side, or like you said, your job there is no security. Let me tell you, tomorrow you can go into the office and they can say that is it. It happens. And here in Houston, the healthcare system is so saturated. I've asked people like, I've been looking for a job for 1 year, for 2 years. I'm like, what?
Send
And
them to me. Send them to me.
oh, to hear that. So, all right. So let's talk about this because this is so, so important. Talk about the conference.
Yes, 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 yes. So let me tell you the context. The reason I wanted to do this conference is because um, so many people are looking for something new. People want a roadmap. They want to be reignited, right? Whether it's in your career or in your business, or maybe you want to start a business. So the number one thing that people, why they feel stuck, that feeling that you're anxious, you feel stuck, like I'm meant for something greater, I want to do more, but I just don't know how to do it and I feel so overwhelmed. Well, this is the conference for you because number one, it's all about networking and being visible and creating impact. So, really, that's the theme of the conference: networking, visibility, and impact. So, really, my idea for this is no matter what you're trying to do as a nurse, we all have something we're really passionate about, something we want to do, whether it's a nonprofit you want to start, whether you want to grow in your career or start that business. You need to be visible. People need to know about you, right? You need clarity. You need to be clear on your goals, and then you need to be able to take action and execute. So, this is going to be a room full of powerful women that are both nurses and non-nurses who are female business
Yes,
owners
yes.
and crushing it in their industry. So some of them are speakers, international speakers, personal stylists, marketing experts. I have a professor from the University of Tampa who is the chair of the entrepreneurship program who will be speaking. And of course, a nurse that has like a med spa. Um, Also, another nurse that's doing a lot of stuff on NBC. She's in the media doing broadcasting. So the reason you need to come is because you want to elevate yourself, you want to make more money, and you want to change the circle of people that you know so that they can elevate you and inspire you to take action and do more. Then you need to be in the room at the Nurses Making Money Moves conference, March 8th in Tampa, Florida. Um, and really, it's going to be the difference of why should you go to this one instead of other conferences, because it's not going to be boring. It's going to be fun. And then it's bridging the gap.
The gap.
So many conferences are just for nursing students, just for nurse practitioners, just for nursing executives, just for this type. Well, this is for every nurse or female professional that just wants to advance. And it's on International Women's Day on purpose because I'm all about women empowerment, celebrating other women, uplifting other women, and not gatekeeping information so that we can all rise together and celebrate each other and make money moves. Because we're
And
queens. We're queens, okay?
yes, yes, yes.
Yes.
Oh my God. I love that. I love that. So guys, if you're looking for something to get you started, not like she shared, there are so many conferences that you go, you hear a lot of information, but then how do you execute? Like, what do you start first? People get the information, but they are actually stuck on like, okay, what should I be doing? What should I do now? What should I do next?
Yep.
So, right?
Actionable. We're going to give you
Actionable.
actionable, tangible things that you can actually do. Things like we're going to talk about how you can just show up on video on social media and share your story. You could start a podcast like you're doing. Honestly, my biggest advice to everybody for 2025, no matter what you're doing, start a podcast. Or if you don't want to start a podcast, be on other people's podcasts and share your story, your ideas, your thought leadership, because that is how you're going to create this personal brand that you want to create, and more opportunities will come to you because you need to be visible. You don't want to just fall in the sea of everybody else and not stand out. You need to be
Mm-hmm.
visible and you need to share your story. And that's how you're going to get closer to your impact and be successful.
Wow. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so, so much. You guys, you've had it from her. So if you are a nurse and you want 2025 to be different for you, you're looking to really hang out with the big chiefs, okay, with the big sharks. And also you want to make some big money moves, okay? You don't want to be waiting for that
If you
paycheck
want
to
a
come.
if you want a booga,
All right. So this is the conference you really want to be in. I am going to be there, okay? And if you are in Houston, you want to let us plan together. I am going to be there for that weekend. So this is
that's
yeah, this event, I'm telling you, is going to be something that is really going to change the landscape of everything for you, career-wise and financial-wise also. So you want to mark it on your calendar, and we are going to be leaving all of the information, our website, if you want to get the book, if you want to get the for the registration, everything is going to be in the
oh,
description. So make sure.
and VIP. There's
And
VIP
VIP.
option.
Yeah, and
Yes.
VIP option. So we are going to put all of the information in the description. And if you want to connect with her, of course, all the information are going to be there. So before we close the broadcast today, I want you to that's a one thing or two things. Number one, what you can attribute your success to, and also a message for everybody listening, whether a new nurse, an experienced nurse, or something.
Okay. If you are a new nurse or a nursing student, my number one advice to you is start making relationships and network early and go to conferences or get mentors. Mentorship is huge. And don't just get one mentor, get multiple mentors. Okay. And invest in your professional growth, whether that's getting ACLS, getting NRP, anything like that. You need to invest in yourself because that's how you're going to grow. And then get uncomfortable because nobody who's successful is comfortable. Right?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Number two, I would say one of my favorite quotes is persistence beats resistance, right? A lot of times we want to complain and complain about other people, complain about politics, who's the president, who's not the president, where I'm living, what happened to me 10 years ago, blah, blah, blah. Listen, you have control. You and God
Mm-hmm.
have control, but God can only do so much. So you need to take some
Yes.
action, right?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
I just went to the MLK breakfast in Tampa. I just moved to Tampa. This Martin Luther King leadership breakfast. There was
Mm.
this, I forgot his name, this reverend in Virginia who's big or whatever. I forgot his name. He said, everybody, he said, stop praying. He said, there comes a time when you got to get off your knees and take some action.
I like that.
So that's really what it is. Take some action and just start, right? Another quote that I love is 80% out the door is better than 100% in the drawer. Cuz all this perfection stuff,
Hmm.
just put it out there. It doesn't have to be perfect. Just start and just go. And then come to the nurses making money moves. That's it. That's it.
Wow.
And,
Wow. Wow.
and one connection can change your whole career, business, or life. Like, look at us. We just connected through LinkedIn, right? We just connected.
Yes. Yes.
So
Yes.
thank you for what you're doing, Victoria, and being on camera, helping amplify other nurses' voices. So thank you, Queen, for what you're doing for everybody. Because I know it's not easy. I know it's not easy to have a podcast. So
Oh,
thank you
thank
for the
you.
opportunity.
Thank you so much. Thank you for being here, taking the time to share your experience, to be an inspiration to new nurses, seasoned nurses, and not gatekeeping any information and open the platform to be able to connect with other nurses. So thank you so much. Thank
And
you.
one more thing, pray. You still got to pray. Okay. You still got, don't get it twisted. You still have to pray. And I think that's what's also attributed to my success is my belief in faith and also
Mm.
the belief in myself. You know, I know you got to go, but it doesn't matter. People don't have to believe in you. No one has to believe in you. The only person that needs to believe in you is you. And that's it. Mic drop.
Mic drop, mic drop, mic drop. Oh my goodness. Guys, what can you say to this episode? I tell you, it's fire this year. This new season, we have lines of great speakers who really they don't mind open up themselves so that you don't remain where you are, so that you can achieve success beyond limit. And today, Dr. Farah Laurent, she has really opened up our minds, giving us the inspiration, the kick that we need, especially in the new year. And so, if this has added value to you, please, I want you to like, I want you to subscribe if you are not. I want you to leave a comment. And also, because this is free, right? Share this information to somebody. Share this information. Somebody through you might be blessed, might just get that thing they've been waiting for and be able to take up. So please make sure you do that.
One more thing. I want to ask you, what are you, because gratitude is a big thing I wanted to talk about, but what are you grateful for today before we end?
Hmm. So, me personally, number one, I am grateful to God for life because without life, all the things I want to do, become this and become that, we cannot do it. So, I'm
Yes.
grateful for life. I'm grateful for the health that I have. And I am grateful. One of the things this year that I prayed about and that I'm intentional about is stepping outside of my comfort zone and meeting great people. And each time I send a message to somebody or I request, and it has been positive, and I'm like, me. So I'm grateful for the new people that God is bringing into my life, for the new connection, for the people who have been blessed on this platform. There is one personal video that I talked about on the platform, and I went there the other day. So many comments of how that has changed their lives. So I am grateful for those. So thank you for asking.
Thank you. Thank you. I can't wait to connect with you in Tampa. You're doing amazing things and proud of you. Proud of you.
Thank you so much. So, fellow nurses, you've had it. So let's meet over there for more networking to be visible and to really learn how to execute a lot of things this year. So, till I come next your way again, continue to achieve success. This is Victoria Show with me. God bless you, and I love you. Bye, guys.